let's work on upgrading the brakes on my '04 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
I'm going to begin on my rear passenger side. I've had some concerns about my caliper sticking, and it's got brand new calipers and pretty much all new lines all around. New fluids have been flushed. So I believe what might be occurring is that this brake line is actually collapsing in on itself. And so it's then been causing a lot of issues with this particular caliper. So I'm going to go ahead and change all the brake lines.
Oh, fucking ready, it's starting. Fucking first bolt in, immediately. No.
Of course, one of the last few lines I never did replace was the one that goes over on the rear axle. And my tetanus-ridden vehicle has had enough of any torque being applied and broke that off. So it looks like I'm going to have to replace that line as well. All right, now with the hydraulic line actually disconnected from the hard line in the rear, we can go ahead and swap that out. All right, as you can see, I got the new line put in. We're gonna go ahead and move on to taking out the main line over the rear axle with the distribution block and kind of work our way clockwise. All right, off camera, you kind of missed a couple things. So got the actual entire brake line removed from the frame rail all the way down to the actual caliper now. So now we can actually move forward with installing the power stop system. And probably just gonna go and try installing it from the caliper side first and then working my way back up to the frame rail.
So I just tore apart my entire front end to change this. And the brake line system's not even fucking right.
All right, fast forward to a couple days later. Normally, this is the part where I would tell you we're going to go ahead and install the nice stainless steel braided lines. However, it turns out that the power stop kit does not work for my particular year and possibly model of the Grand Cherokee. Thankfully, everything kind of worked out with the customer support at Power Stop. They gave me actually a full refund on it. So I guess this is going to be a PSA to anybody that may have like an '04 Grand Cherokee Overland. The Power Stop kit is not going to fit just because due to the actual length in the line here where it connects to the caliper. Also, the line of where it goes over the axle is significantly longer, and also the bend's incorrect. And the bracket is also different with the placement of where the hole is. It's actually offset by about ½ an inch for where it is on the normal OEM one. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and put in the rubber ones that are brand new for the front. And eventually, I'm going to order from Iron Rock. They have their own braided stainless steel ones that I'm going to go put in the front that I can achieve actually really good pedal feel.
All right, same story for the rear driver side. So we're gonna go ahead and loosen it at where the hard line is, and also on the back of the caliper. I also will note that the hydraulic line from the power stop kit will fit only the rears, but not the front or the part that's on the rear axle that connects the hard line from the front ABS pump to the rear axle. The distribution block is completely off too. So if you want to spend $160 for a kit that only gets you actual stainless steel braided lines for just the rear, this is the kit for you.
So it's post a couple days. I kind of had some urgency in order to get everything done. During the time for me recording, I had to hurry up and try to get the vehicle done so that way I can take it out to a pumpkin patch, do a couple trails in order to get some of the pumpkins. So there's going to be some choppy bits in between all these videos and stuff of lines being recorded, being removed, and stuff like that. The end result, though, however, is, as you can see, I have a very, very, very rusty Grand Cherokee. And a lot of the lines also are very rusty, which also led to a lot of problems. But overall, the pedal feels actually pretty solid. The rear passenger line actually doesn't seize anymore. Also, I didn't include it in the clip, but it was a problem, was that the on the rear passenger side as well, it actually was missing one of the bolts needed to mount the caliper to the knuckle. Took forever this thing to bleed just because every single line had to be replaced, and so that took forever to bleed all the air out of the system. I'll throw in the clip of the Jeep going out to the pumpkin patch. But yeah, overall, I mean, it probably, if you didn't have a tetanus ridden vehicle, this probably would not have taken as long as it did for me. It took me pretty much about 4 hours worth, just because I had to change so many of the hard lines. Also, I'll include this in case anybody is trying to do the same thing, is in the same position as I am of having a rusty Jeep, is the front driver and passenger side hard brake lines were kind of hard to source online. It was pretty easy to find a lot of other things. If you buy the Dorman set, I don't have the part number on hand, but the actual Dorman set, it doesn't show it too well in the pictures, but it does include the front driver side and the front passenger side. The only difference between the OEM one is that it has kind of like two separate lines that make it go from the ABS pump all the way down to here. So like they break it in half. Like I said, I fully acknowledge I kind of jumped around on it. But sadly, due to time constraints and also just working on it after my full-time job, I don't really get full dedicated time to do this as much as I'd like to.